Good morning. Hi, it's Michelle over here from Hesketh Emporium again. Sorry, I am actually still on my bed. It's a rest day for me today. So I am going to bring you a quick video because I'm in the process of making this pattern. So if you can see on here, it's a rainbow for the window. And the pattern I have used is Rainbow of Unity by Kerry Jane Designs. And you can download that for free at the moment. So I've made that, and I'm going to just do the cardboard insert for it in a bit. But I wanted to do something a little bit different with the pom-poms at the bottom today. So this quick tutorial is about how to use the Clover Pom-Pom Maker, which I have here. So this is the Clover Pom-Pom Maker I'm using, and I'm making the really tiny little ones. Let me grab one of them. I haven't trimmed her yet, but there it is. Anyway, they're looking pretty ugly at the moment, but they do look really nice once they've been trimmed up. So that's the Clover, and it comes in lots of different sizes. This happens to be the 2-pack for the really tiny ones that I've chosen to use today. Now, these I got from minervacraft.com, online. So look for Minerva. They do ship internationally as well. And they're also available, obviously, from all sorts of other retailers. But yeah, the Clover one is the one I recommend because it is I think it's the one that's made the best. And so I find it lasts longer. I've got a cheap pair for the internet, and honestly, all the bits and clips and everything have broken off it already. So don't go with that one if you can help it. So here goes. I have got one of my little pom-pom makers. I'm going to attempt to get the video down so that you can actually see it and not necessarily me. So hopefully that's working out okay. So there we have the pom-pom maker. So it comes in 2 pieces, and they're joined up at the moment. But if you open up these 2 pieces, and then you open up the other 2 on the opposite side, they actually pull apart. And that's how the pom-pom maker works. So you start with it with the arms open. I take my yarn. Any yarn will do. You can double up your yarn. You can, bigger ones, you can even triple up your yarn if you want. So you start, I put my thumb on the end and I hold it down. And then I just start winding around the round center piece. So this is the bit that's creating the pom-pom. You don't wind along these arms or anything. You mustn't catch any of those. So you just keep winding until the center is flat and it's even. So you're going to try and get your pom-pom as even as possible by going around, up and down, as I've done here, until it's nice and full. Okay, if you don't do it full enough, your pom-pom might fall apart, and it also looks a little bit shaggier. So I've done that now. You can see it's filled up okay, and I'm now going to close this side up. So I push that towards the middle, I close it up, and I keep my string or my thread, yarn, whatever you're using, attached. And I simply pull it along to the neck all the way, making sure you get well into the corners here where it joins the bar. There you go. The lovely thing about these tiny ones is they're a bit of a pain because they're fiddly to cut, but actually you can make a pom-pom in just a couple of seconds, really. Now, I feel that I've done. What I do now is I've got this thread that's running between the 2, and I want to snip that off so I can close up. So I snip it off on the first one, so now it's loose. I then close up this arm as well, so now the whole unit is closed up. Okay, I've now got this thread which you can cut off. It doesn't have to be short, it can be any length you want, but there you go. So that's cut. I now cut myself a piece of yarn to do the tying off with. I'm keeping mine quite long because I intend to use them to make a chain as well. So you keep that ready for when you've snipped your pom-pom. So now you need a good pair of scissors. You need sharp scissors, metal bladed scissors that are not wobbly or loose, because those points are going to be really important when it comes to making the first cuts in your pom-pom. So I use some really good sharp scissors. I hold my pom-pom maker here on this open end. I grab that with my fingers on my one hand, and with the scissors on the other one hand, you're going to put it in between the two parts of your pom-pom maker. And the easiest thing I find is to just do short way around until every thread check has been snipped. That's the important thing, is that all the threads have been snipped. Now you flip it over and you repeat it on the other side. Hold down the loose ends and start with little snips over here. And then you've got some purchase so that it's much easier. And then you just keep going until all of your threads on the second side are done. Right, so now we're ready for the last little bit. We take our thread. I use a short tail. You push it in between the two layers where you have just done your snipping, and it should pull in between your layers. All right, you want to keep all of the pieces well together, so you're going to grip it and you're going to tug this thread that you've got in between your two parts of the pom-pom maker. Do a knot. You can do a double knot if you want, but at this point you want to just tug it really tight and put a knot in it. And then for extra security, because I don't want any threads to come loose, I flip my pom-pom maker over and I bring those two thread tails to the top. Ignore that one, that's just part of the pom-pom. And then I tie another knot in the other side. Be careful you don't pull it too tight that you break your yarn. If your yarn is very thin and liable to break, use a different yarn for this part. This is a really good strong. We have our pom-pom maker. It's ready to be opened. So we take one side at a time and we simply fold the arms out and over so that it's open, leaving the pom-pom in the middle. Then we repeat it on the other side. We open up the two arms. We now have a pom-pom in the middle of our two arms. And we simply grab the center and we wiggle until the two halves of the pom-pom maker come apart. And we can set those aside. And if you've tied it well, you now should have a pom-pom. Albeit a little scraggy, but at this point you can now snip off and make your pom-pom lovely and neat. And my trick is always to just hold the tails and give it a good old whack in the palm of your hand, and that fluffs up your pom-pom a little bit, and it also shows you where it needs trimming. And there you have it. One completed pom-pom in no time at all. And to repeat the process, you put the two arms or parts of the pom-pom maker back together again, and you simply start your next pom-pom. So that's how to make a pom-pom using the Clover pom-pom making kits, which come in all different sizes. So thank you for watching me this morning, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Enjoy your pom-pom making, and I will put a snapshot of my rainbow with little dangly pom-poms, which probably look like little clouds actually. So we'll be putting that back on as a picture on the internet. So lovely to see you all. Have a wonderful day. Happy crafting.